Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. That was an old intro. I wanted to try it out because I said to myself, well, why did I get it? Why did I sit up there and build it? If it's in my StreamYard studio, there shouldn't be no errors with it. But obviously, there's errors, so I got to make a whole new one for virtual studios. I have a long list of things that we have to do today. So I want to get started with the things we have to do today. And I'm going to read from the script. You know how I like to keep it scripted. And from the top in 3, 2, 1. So welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I want to thank you all for taking the first step. Thanks for watching my page. I appreciate you all so much. This is sponsored by you all. You, each and every one of you all, I really appreciate. Thanks. And I had a little smiley face. I gotta put a little emoji or smiley face. Thank you and thank you. Thanks, and I want you all to know what I'm doing today. So today it's gonna be simple. To get on Matchmaker FM and write people back and set up appointments. To put together 3 virtual studios. To put 2 videos on Spotify, and to contact a list of people who wants to be on my show. But first, I wanted to talk to you guys about politics. I mean, what do I know? That I have not watched it in almost a week, and things have been clearer. I have not watched politics in almost a week. I've seen one thing about Trump, but other than that, I haven't even tuned in. I've been too busy doing other things, and things have looked up more clearer. I know that these politicians get paid millions every 30 seconds when their faces are shown on TV. So, you know, that kind of sounds jealousy, but I'm not jealous. If that's what floats your boat, making millions of dollars showing your face, you're a brand, then fine. Be a brand. I am a brand too, but I just don't have the monetary funds. But these politicians get paid, like I said, like every 30 seconds. And it's like, um, are you doing it ethically and fair? As long as you're doing that, I have no problem with what you're doing. I am running for state senate again, but as an independent. I want to be someone different. I don't want to be a typical, politician with, you know, a regular, everything is so regular. If they accept LGBT and they accept people in unique ways, why not accept people like me? I want to be an extension to the independent. I'm not LGBT, but I support the LGBT. I extract some of their style. I extract some of their style. I extract, but that doesn't mean that I'm bisexual or gay. And not to say that that's a bad thing. So I want to be an extension to the independent, the people, the real people. If you are accepting of the LGBT, and everything else, blacks and everything else, why not be proud of it? You know, um, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that every day I walk out something bad happens to me. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, as an independent, I just want to be a different type of independent. I've always been different, but I want to be classified as a different, someone, a real person for the people, someone who is real, someone who has actually witnessed the USA, American ghetto in poverty for all people in poverty, experiencing real problems. I have witnessed the system cracks and the systematic failures, starting with the shelters, graduating to some prestigious colleges where they don't allow enough African Americans in. They allow more Asians in, or more Indians in, or possibly more Jews in than the average African American. So out of 40 million African Americans, nearly 2% go to prestigious college. There's only 40 million of us here. So the US flawed system of the American ghetto needs to be unflawed. It needs to be looked at, because if you change the outcome and change the systematic ways, we can get black men from selling crack cocaine and heroin into selling brands like cell phones and digital gadgets like I got the hookup with Master P. But you can get them into selling different things and doing different things in a real business as defined as a society accepted job, instead of throwing them out there to the nature, to the wild. Put in the elements of crack cocaine. You throw cocaine at them, and you throw some baking powder and some niacin or whatever the ingredients are, and then you sit up there and you put it in the wild, and then what are they going to do? They are going to make, and people are like, oh, I sure boy used some crack today, and this is real. It may be a joke, but 500 people per drug dealer die. And it's sad. It's sad, you guys. You put them out there in the wild. We need to change the systematic system, the systematic error, not the system, but the errors within the systematic ways of um, behavior modification. Now, I am free to express myself in every form until I run for state senator. If they sit up there and say, tone down your hair or your lipstick, yeah, I tone it down. No big deal. I follow rules, you know. Um, I'm not going to say I'm going to play your game, because I don't know what game is being played. I just don't I will do what you say, because that is the rules of the government system I am running to be a part of. So I will respect that. Free spirits were, you know, I am free to express myself in every form. Free spirits, question mark. Where are the paid spirits? Well, look, let's think about it. Every spirit was born into money or not. When you are a paid spirit, you pay the federal government, basically. And that's what I do. I pay the federal government. I am a paid spirit. People that are free, you are born into money. Some people call that slavery when people are paid spirits. Paid spirits are like slavery. And even some moderately middle class white people are, to me, and I'm classifying, I want y'all to listen to me and not slaves. Anybody who pay their taxes, they call it modern day slavery. So everybody who pay their taxes, like, and then you hear stuff talking about, well, Trump didn't pay his taxes. Let me see your taxes. It's been such a controversy, and that's how you know there's something going on fishy, because you got to think about it. Trump, he has taxes, and we all pay taxes. But when you start making a big deal out of taxes, you know, why? I mean, maybe he has some underlying cut for it, or reason. But why, if you know you paid your taxes, do they have to be stipulations regarding trying to put your taxes out there? And if somebody say Kimberly Cloud is smoking weed, I'm going to say, show me the proof. That's just hearsay. Until you see me with something in my mouth smoking, I am not smoking weed. So, where am I at? So, let's see. Uh, I was not a free spirit until the government got involved. Let me zoom in on this. I apologize, you guys. I have to read a script. I was not a free spirit until the government got involved. I got into the military. I was on delayed entry. You know, I got, I'm a veteran for life. This isn't like privileged stuff where they like 1, 2, 3 years. Okay, you're not a veteran no more. You're a free, you know. I am partially free. Which one do you think I am? I feel like I am government property and I'm both free and paid. However, I do not never want to be in the police scope again unless it's for protection. That's all I want. And that's all I've been wanting. That's why I'm starting my business again so that I can start making more residual income. I appreciate them all, like the government looking, even if they don't want to, and it just so happened that I looked out for myself, or maybe, someone helped me in the background. You know what? Whoever is helping me in the background, thank you. Whatever entity, government, alien, force, whatever, thank you. I've seen things that I couldn't explain. So that's why I'm starting my business again, so that I can start making more residual income. I appreciate them all, all the government. Each may have played a governmental role towards my life pathway, but they did not, they did what was best for the nation. Everyone, everyone, basically each president mapped a plan for every citizen in the United States. Each president mapped a plan through different organizations that had scope a more visible scope on a citizen. So that's what happened. Like, for instance, President Clinton, he did the three-strike rule because he kept hearing about crime rates and the data was showing crime rate went up. Bush, you know, I don't really remember the things that Bush pushed out. He started the war factor with going to war with Iraq, or Osama bin Laden, finding him. He started that part, and Obama finished it when he got into office and made marijuana legal. Um, and then you have Trump. Trump had the Operation Warp Speed. And then you had JD Vance. Oh, wait, I went too far. I went too far. I doubt if JD Vance be president. That is for the wig joke, JD Vance. So yeah, all these presidents, I'm just playing. All these presidents, they sat up there and they all achieved something. During the COVID, they had Operation Warp Speed. You know, Obama kept the nation safe because Osama bin Laden was a national security threat to America, been one, and I give it to Bush. Bush was in an all black school, and like I said, they each mapped Clinton. Clinton put the CIA in charge, or authorized the CIA to go in, infiltrate places like the ghettos, and the CIA flood the streets with crack cocaine. My dad became part of that epidemic or pandemic. And if it wasn't for my dad abusing drugs, and if he would have been a little bit more stable, you know um that could have been more encouraging support for me. So they set the pathway. I don't know why they would do that, though. Flood ghettos with cocaine and crack cocaine. And that's why I don't go in on Donald Trump, because he's killing these guys literally for bringing that crap to our country. I am sick and tired of addicts getting on drugs. The only thing that should be legal is weed, not meth. Not say, oh, so many people doing it, let me make a law to say, if you do this much, it's okay. Recreational use. So, yeah. So, each of the government played role towards my life pathway, but they did what was best for the nation. Each of us in this nation, they gave drugs to the black people as a tool of domination and control. They want them to dominate their black communities with crack cocaine while they control the drug addicts, or the drug uh, dealers, through arresting them and keep repeating the crime. And that's what I mean when I said they influence. From men and women going to state and federal prison for tax fraud or tax evasion. There are the types of people that create paths with the law. That's why I don't ever want to cross paths with the law. I don't ever want to cross paths, whether state or federal, bureaucratic or feds. I don't ever want to cross paths with them. No news is good news. You know, either your life intertwines with the fate of the law, which mines have, or you possibly end up with never having to meet the law. Or I'm in between. I don't ever want to meet the daggone law, unless they're protecting me. You break the law, you start evading taxes, the feds are going to get you and you're going to jail federally. You start doing things that, you know, breaking the law, and you're intertwined with the police. Some people are innocent, some people make mistakes, some people are at the wrong place at the wrong time, and some people never meet the law. And there has been a lot of African American men that has been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because if you look at the statistics of how many black men are in jail and they claim innocence, there's a lot that say I'm going to claim innocence just to get out of jail. That's true too. That there are some black men that are really innocent and no one listens to their story, and they be in there for like 30 years plus and then get $1 million or $500,000 check after being locked up and their life being taken away from them. You don't want to know what it's like to be in jail and your life being taken away from you. That's why I don't want to ever go back to jail. And I'm in the middle, I'm between life intertwines with the fate of the law and never having to meet the law. I don't ever want to meet the law again. If anything, if they're protecting me, then fine. If they're protecting me, fine. I'm okay with that. I'm very cool with that. But if it's like, I'm thinking about breaking the law, which I don't think about. If I'm thinking about break, I stay away from all the ghettos. I stay away from the poverty areas or even certain areas that I know that is drug activity or gang violence. I study on the news, different crimes that happen in different areas, the green zones, the yellow zones, the red zones, you know, um, Gavin Newsom, Bob Ferguson, you know, all everyone, Bruce Harrell, all of them stay in green zones. All of them stay in green zones. We, we, yes, stay in a yellow that in the next maybe 3 to 6 to up to 10 years is going to turn into a red zone. That means I'm in a predominantly good neighborhood, but I've been noticing a lot of different activities. Like for instance, I've never noticed it before. I would go park in a parking lot, the outside parking lot, and I saw a empty beer can, and I said, "What? Am I back in DC somewhere?" I'm like, "Dang." Like I was like, that is taking money off of the landscape of the business. Whoever did it is incompetent. Why would you drink and leave a empty? You couldn't even throw it away. Nobody wants your achievements. Is that all you can achieve? Is to drink and to put a bottle on the middle of the sidewalk? So like I said, that's what gets me, and that's why in the next 3 to 6 years, and plus I stay next to a bus station, so it's a lot of traffic, and I truly feel like I feel bad for the predominantly corporate and middle class and even poverty. I feel bad for the ones that have to stand out there every day and had to see that bottle just sitting there. They're going to work and they have to see a bottle. It may not bother them, but if I had to go out and see an empty bottle, that's litter. So let's get started with the work of the day, which is to put two people on Spotify and do many other things like look up potential guests and um, just do things productive. And that's all I want to do is something productive today. I'll go down the list: Matchmaker, Virtual Studio, Spotify, and contact a list of people. Then I'll be caught up for the day. Okay, let me open this. Um, like, you know what hurts the most is when somebody leave an empty bottle, because that's not only disrespect to the people that have to clean up after you, but that's a disrespect to Mother Earth. That's a disrespect to Mother Earth. Like, why would you sit up there? That irked my nerves, man. Like, seeing that empty bottle just there, like, throw me away. I'm free now. Like, seriously. Their spirit, everything has a frequency, and their frequency is just sitting there waiting for another frequency to touch it and put it appropriately in the appropriate spot that everybody as a child learn how to utilize, which is throwing your trash away. I have to go, you guys. That's my show for today. I have another show to do at 3 o'clock. I am so glad. I am glad I caught that because I was just about to get started. So this is part one. That is why I chose to do it. I don't want to leave her hanging. Let me see if I see her on here. If she's not on here, then I will continue to do the show. There she go. Hold on for a second, okay? You look nice. Hold on. You guys, I gotta go. Take care. Be safe. Bye.
Never waste my time, you all I want.